Hi everyone, welcome to Business Exit and Beyond, where freedom begins with JD. Today we talk about the exciting world of business and opportunities. I'm so happy to have my co-host and husband, David G. Fisher. He's not just an incredible partner, but also a brilliant businessman. Together we'll explore an exciting vision where businesses reach their full potential, connect with the right people who truly appreciate their value, and share wisdom that empowers others. Our mission is all about helping business owners enjoy new freedoms after their journey and inspiring future. So get ready to explore how we turn business ownership into global influence. So today we'll be sharing on our vision statement. So I'm going to actually read our vision statement and ask David Fisher some questions. So our vision is to see businesses achieve their full potential and connect them with the right buyers who recognise their true value of the businesses and their culture. We envision sellers sharing their wisdom and experiences to empower future entrepreneurs and enrich communities around the world. So my question is to David, can you start by sharing the big picture behind our vision? What future do we hope to create for businesses and their communities?
First, I'd like to share what the word vision. So a lot of people perhaps don't understand what it actually means. So a vision is something that you see in the way in the future. So a mission is something that we do now and what we set the path, but the vision is something that we're looking out 5 to 10 years away. So that's why we say our vision is to see businesses achieve full potential. So as a lot of business owners, and I've been one for 30 years, grow your businesses, there gets to a point where it's time to, say, step out or you've outgrown it and it's time to move on. So you don't just necessarily have to be 55, 60, 70 or whatever, say, look, it's time to throw in the towel. But if you don't know where you're going to go, that's the vision part that's the most important. So if you're going to exit your business, but you don't know where you're going to go, so you haven't seen where you're going to go, then you won't let go. Mm. You'll be the person that will be stuck in where you are currently now. And I'm not saying it's a bad business, but if you see the future, like a lot of people see, oh, well, I'm just going to retire and I'm going to do my world trip and play golf. I would imagine our audience is way more intelligent and emotionally inspired and all the rest of it to just do that. And I'm not saying don't do that because we just went overseas a few months ago. But the big part is to see where you're going to go. So I'm going to use the example, like if you say, for example, you've sold your business and you're driving out the gate, you've got $10 million in your bank account, you're driving out the gate and you don't know whether to go left or go right or go straight ahead. That's not a good day because from our experience and from research, after about 12 months, when people had no vision, even a biblical concept that where they had no vision, the people perished. And this is what's happening to people. They're actually perishing because they've had so much of the hype and the excitement and everything that's driven them, being their leaders, CEO of their businesses, being that sort of center point of everything. And now they're not. They're at home and they don't know what to do. So that's the core of the vision. And the core of our vision really started when I was on those crossroads as well. Do I go left, right, or straight ahead? And been in the construction industry for now 45 years, that was a turning point. 30 years of business, 45 years, and it was like, but I'm really comfortable. I know what's going on here. I understand it. I've been all part of the business management side for all of those. I know how to do it in my sleep, but I didn't know where I was going to go. And so that's why we started this business. And that's why we wanted to support people, because really we went out looking for people who could help. And there wasn't anyone. There was no people that would help us on that journey to discover that. And so really we have to go on that discovery journey to find who we are and where we're going to go. So that's really what the vision is all about. And that's our vision. So the full potential is one thing, but if you don't find the right buyer that's going to take on the business and ultimately you sell your business, which I have done in the past, it's always good to look back and think, wow, this is still going. And that's really exciting because you put all your energy and everything else. You might walk away with all that money, but at the end of the day, you still want that to keep alive. So that's part of finding the right buyers to connect together that believe in your business, believe in your culture, and want to keep that going, but not only that, but expand on that. So that's why we say we envision sellers sharing their wisdom. So you've got so much wisdom and knowledge. Why not share it? And so not only to the new entrepreneurs that take over your business, but there's the potential that you could do that through the groups and networks that we're going to create ourselves, that you could be part of a mastermind, you could be part of the business exit club. There's a range of different things that you could be part of that could sow into the next generation as a coach, a mentor. There's so many opportunities. So that's part of that vision to see where you're going to go next.
So why is it crucial for us to connect businesses with buyers who recognize their true value and culture? How does this fit into our broader vision?
So what I believe is that if we don't have the right mix, the right people to connect together, how's it going to work? So if you go and look at a person that's had this business, to say hypothetically, for 20 years, and he's passing it on to someone else, and there's no synergy between them. We're not saying you have to stay in the business full time for the next 12 months. There's a whole lot, and each one will be a particular, an agreement that works for both parties. But you could still be part of that on a board level that, say, met once a month. There's a whole lot of different ways you could do it. But the important part is that you have to get along and understand that the next person, the next business owner, believes in what you created, and ultimately to grow it as well. That's the most exciting part for both parties. One sold, one's still part of it, and the next one is expanding on that.
Right, yes, that's true. So in our mission statement, we say our mission is to connect business owners with experts and essential resources for a successful exit, allowing them to achieve newfound freedom beyond their business. We aim to empower the next generation of entrepreneurs to build on these legacies and explore new opportunities. So, purpose behind the mission. Let's talk about our mission. Can you elaborate on the driving force behind connecting business owners with the right resources and experts for the successful exit?
Right. So same thing as I was explaining before, we struggle to find. So and we're working with business brokers and everyone else. So their role is to sell your business, but then the accountants have got a role to help you go and find the numbers. But who has an impartial area that can work with you to grow not only your business, but have those resources? So the resources are experts in the field, right? So accountants, lawyers, financial planners, brokers. There's a whole range of different people in that field. And then we're building up a resource library because the world is changing at such a rate, we'll be updating that constantly, but a resource library of the steps that you can go through. So when you go and think of it, what's the first step? Our first step is actually in our mind. So as I was talking about the vision before, the mission is, where do you want to go next? So that's a very crucial part of the resources, where you think, well, it's just a matter of selling my business. And that's definitely part of the journey. But the other part of the journey is we have to get ourselves in the right mental state to go on that journey. So if you think, is my business totally dependent on me? For example, I'll do a test. So we went to Europe last year for 6 weeks. Now, our listeners, I just asked them, if you went away for 6 weeks and left your business, and the only way that they could contact you was by, say, email, and you could respond only once a day, and your business kept going, how many people could say yes to that question? So that's the type of test, which is going to take, quite a few businesses. It's going to take them a few years to get to that stage. So in that stage, they have to prepare. So most businesses fast tracking it will be 12 months, but in reality, you're looking at 2 or 3 years really to get your business and everything, what I call sellable. And when I say sellable, not only have you got your processes and systems, documentation, financials and process and all of that, sometimes you're going to have to, or most of the time you have to, who's going to, be the person that takes your role from operations, because you're going to have to step back. So that's a crucial part of that stage of, it doesn't happen in 5 minutes. So that's a mental phase of what we have to keep considering and that sort of mission of getting things. So we have to create a mission for yourself. So vision first, and then what we're going to do, laying those steps out. So one thing is to get your business ready. Another thing, which a lot of people really don't talk about, and that's what I discovered, is it's actually getting you ready, getting you, the business owner, ready. So that's why we call it business exit and beyond, because what are you going to do beyond business? And some people will join up together and create a pool of other people that maybe start another business. Some people, as we were talking, part of our vision and our mission was to build community centres. So there's no limitation, but let's not retire. On this podcast, we don't even really want to use that word, because that's not the idea. You might also say transition from one area to another, but we don't want retirement, right? So if you want retirement, that's fine. Look, everyone's got that option. But the whole idea is to transition, and like what we're doing, it's totally, totally different than construction, right? So in that world, yeah, and I suppose that's part of our mission. What we think, we're gone from building buildings to building people, and it's been like a journey, just 2 years, just to get to that point. And so, isn't it exciting? And then initially it was my journey, and then Josie jumped on board. And now we are JD doing this journey, and we want to bring people on this journey together, that we can help one another, not just the financial side, that's one side, but what about the emotional and the psychological side, and help you go through that journey. And we've got, there's no limitations of what we can do. Like on Josie's side, she's our community director, and looking at creating events, like doing a once a year, we go off to Europe or an Asian block or something like that, if there's enough interest. So just, our listeners, just think about the things that you can do and join into our community as well. And what we've done there, we've done with, like, for example, on meetups and things like that. So in the Brisbane meetup side, if you look under that, you'll see that we're building a community of people, and not only like the business people that are going to exit, but the people that are the new entrepreneurs that are going to buy, and the group of resources and expert professionals that's going to come and join us all on that journey. So when you go and look at that whole area, it's really exciting where we can go on the business exit journey.
All right. So now, how does our mission empower business owners to transition into newfound freedoms? And what does this mean for the next wave of entrepreneurs?
So in that stage, we're basically like handing over the baton. So one lot's handing over the baton, one lot is preparing the baton for the next entrepreneur. And then the other phase of that is where, once they're handing that baton over a period of time for that business, the next phase of that is really empowering that business owner, the one that's taking over. So on that journey of helping others, you're going to discover, this is what we did. We discovered our next step. So that's why we do the business exit or beyond. That was our discovery, where we looked at different realms. I'm not saying you're going to get the right the first time, and we certainly didn't. We went many, many realms of different things, but it became very personal, and our mission to help people on that realm is to do that. And that's part of that discovery. So when you go, what am I going to do next? It's all very individual, right? But we can do this all together to help one another together to move forward in that stage. And so that's the exciting part on that discovery journey, that you're not saying, I'm finished, I'm done, because you've got so much inside of you. You've got all that wisdom, experience and knowledge. Not only can you help out the previous, as in hand over the baton, but you can start another adventure. That's the power of that. There's no limitation, whatever that may be.
Yeah, that's right. No limits if you open up your mind to it, right? So our solution statement says, from business ownership to global influence, we help business owners secure a successful exit with a strong support network and resources, enabling personal freedom while empowering the next generation of entrepreneurs and community development worldwide. There's also a quote by David G. Fisher, which says, once I envisioned and embraced a future beyond my current business and identity, I was empowered and prepared to invest in the journey ahead. So our solution statement offers a roadmap from business ownership to global influence. How do we practically support business owners through this transformation?
I think when that quote, that was about 12 months ago, and literally I just wrote what I felt like, right? So when it said, once I envision and embraced a future beyond, and I say current business, say my current business in construction, that was even though that's a one-liner, that's a massive journey. That, for me, it really took 18 months just on that first part. And then an identity, because your identity is in the industry that you're in. Your identity is the role you're in, for example, as a CEO or a construction manager or a director, whatever role that you have, that's all part of your identity. So when you walk out the door and people say, so what do you do? And you go, I'm an ex-CEO of ABC company. How many times have you heard that? I'm an ex. So they haven't found their identity. What about they said that I sold my business for $10 million and now I go around the world with a group of people and I build community centers throughout the world. Well, isn't that a great identity now?
Yeah, it's a newfound identity.
Yeah. So we want to support people who are going to do that.
Yeah.
My background's building. I'm happy to help if they on the ground to do that. That's just one part of the beyond. That's why the business exit and beyond. So not only, that's why, and then I'd like to do the next line. Let's go in detail. I was empowered and prepared to invest in the journey ahead. I can assure you, this is a long journey. And we've only started this journey ourselves because we're transitioning. We're changing from one identity to another because there wasn't anyone out helping the group of people that we want to help, not only the people exiting, so the business brokers and all the rest of it, I'll sell your businesses and all the rest of it. Great team of people, they're an expert team. But what happens afterwards? They say your money's been transferred into your bank account, you've got your $10 million in there, now what do you do? Who's helping you then, right? So you could spend all that time thinking about what am I going to do with that money? Am I going to pass it on to the family? Am I going to buy houses, whatever? There's a whole range of different things. But that was when you start to invest. I mean, invest. And I'm talking time. You have to invest in the journey ahead, right? So just think of, in that journey, where do you go from there, right? If you don't sort of think about what am I going to do next, right? What am I going to do next? You can't move forward. And so that's all part of that journey of what we're trying to do. Just think of that word. I was empowered and prepared to invest in the journey ahead. That's what we're here for, to invest in you for the journey ahead. So if we go back to the global influence, that's the global influence. If we go back to the part of helping business owners secure a successful exit, so part of a successful exit is not just the value, the dollars and cents. That's to get the right people to buy. The right people that believe in your business, the right people that are going to continue your legacy that you've actually been working on with your heart and your soul and your mind, everything, your spirit, everything you put into it. You want someone to grab that banner and take it to the next level. So that's the part. So then everyone's going to come on that journey while you're finding that freedom.
Yeah.
And like for us, this is all new, podcasting and all this sort of stuff. You don't do this sort of stuff in construction, right? this is all new. This is all a little bit of fun. But, at 62 years old, there's no limitations, isn't there? There's lots of people. You think of Colonel Sanders and all those different people. Well, how old were they? Like 65 or something, 67, whatever, when he started that. You've got so much wisdom. You've got so much, knowledge and experience and everything. Don't let the candle. I just think of it. Just think of if you can keep that candle alive, right? All you're going to do is take that candle to a different spot and light another candle. Think of it from that. And even the concept of rocks. Rocks is a good analogy too, that you might let go of one big boulder, right? Hang on to a few pebbles, because same thing. If, for example, you could stay in the business if you wanted to, but in that process, you could hang on to a few rocks as well. We don't have time to go through all those journey of that, but there's so many different things that you can do. And part of the community development worldwide is with all of that knowledge, wisdom, financial gain and all that sort of stuff. If we pool our resources, we can make a big difference to this world. And that's what we're there for.
That's right.
We want this world to be a better place by doing something that we have a passion first, a purpose next, and ultimately a mission. If you can put all of those three together, you'll never know where you're going to go. And that's the journey that we're on. We do know that we're going to help a whole lot of people on this journey. And where it goes and how far it grows, the sky is the limit, right? So we're shooting for the moon, and if we hit a couple of stars on the way or whatever, then that's pretty good, isn't it? So that's how we want you to think.
Yeah.
Think about that. And then we've got a powerhouse of different people, and then we can have masterminds, we can have a business exit club. There's a whole lot of different things that are in the realms. Remember, this is all the possibilities of what we can do, what you can do. We're only here to assist. It's you guys that do it. You're the listeners that can change not only your world within your family and your friends and business, but you can change lots of things, but not by yourself. We can only all do this together if we're on the same mission. So that is why the worldwide part as well.
Yeah, that's great. Look, so what a unique solution, hey, to ensure business owners not only succeed in their exit, but also foster community growth and entrepreneurial spirits worldwide. It's just incredible. So what an inspiring talk with David G. Fisher. Seeing how our vision can turn dreams into reality is truly amazing, helping businesses grow and communities thrive. Remember when David said, once I envisioned my future beyond business, I was ready to invest in the journey ahead. It's all about embracing new possibilities. Thank you, David, for showing us how to look forward to building legacies that impact lives. And join us next time for more exciting stories and ideas to live passionately and create a positive impact in the world. So we'll see you next time from Josie.
And from David. And the easiest way to remember us is JD.